Play with Matches is back. Gabrielle, do the intro.
Hi, welcome back to our channel.
Yeah. Put her right on the spot, dude. Everybody, because in the comments, everyone's all, I'm waiting for Gabrielle to do the intro.
One day, y'all. One day.
So, Gabrielle, what are we going to talk about today? What are we doing?
What are we doing today? We are going to talk about
Bad wives.
bad wives.
Real bad wives,
Bad
right?
ones.
Now, this one, wife won't have sex with me. Who knows? Maybe the guy is
The worst.
gross or something. But this one, how can I fully trust my wife after her affair? You can't, is the answer to that. But we're going to listen to Dr. John give this guy
Break
some
it down.
advice.
We love this guy.
He's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
We were watching one of our old videos last night of like when this dude called in. He's like, so listen, I just feel like I need some advice from you, Dr. John. I'm having sex with my best friend's wife, and I'm trying to figure out if it's real love. And Dr. John's like,
He's like, that's why you're calling?
you're what? Are you? It's so good. We did it a long time ago. And Gabrielle's like,
great.
we should react to this guy more often.
Yeah.
And
He's awesome.
thus, we are going to. Should we talk, Gabrielle? I'm going to leave it up to you. Should we react first to the wife who had an affair and the guy wants to know if he can trust her, or my wife will never have sex with me?
Let's go with this one.
I like it. I like it. Let's go. And by the way, you guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Do that.
This is important for me because this is a really serious problem in my household.
Obvious.
I'm always like,
I know.
God, Gabrielle, I need more. She's all, no.
Never.
I hate having sex with you.
The worst.
We never do that.
What's up, Joe?
Hi, Dr. John.
What up?
Pleasure to speak with you.
It's a pleasure to speak with you,
All right.
man. Hey, are our boys gonna pull it out or what?
Oh, I believe so. I think they're going to make one last trade here at the end, and I think we're going to pull it over the top.
Ah, dude, that's my Joe. I'm in, man. I'm in. All right, so what's up?
Yeah, man, I've listened to countless hours of your show, and man, you've helped me a ton. And so I just want to say thank you for that first off.
Appreciate
but my
that, man.
question is, you've talked about emotional infidelity, and you talked about emotional abuse, and I'm wanting to understand if my wife is emotionally has emotional infidelity, and if she's abusive or neglectful, or if I'm just being too sensitive and needy, because that's basically what she's told me.
Oh, burn.
Ooh.
The wife told the husband he's being too emotional and needy, and I can hear in his voice, dude, you are married to a trash chick. I can already diagnose that without even seeing his face or anything.
There's a lot of layers here already, man. So
He knows, dude.
let me know what's going on.
Yeah, so the backstory, I met my wife through actually her cousin. We worked together. She introduced me to my wife now, and everything was great in the beginning. Thought she was a wonderful person. She's a wonderful person. I thought she had a wonderful heart. She's a teacher, just like your wife is.
This is a bad start, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yesterday during my live stream, I told you this last night, where someone was like, do you think, because I was commenting on how there were so many pretty girls, like, there were super
Yeah.
chats and they have their pictures. I'm like, what are all these pretty girls doing listening to me? And I was like, speaking of pretty girls, and then I had you come up.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, do you think that your relationship would improve with Gabrielle if you had total freedom? And I was like, literally, there's nothing that could improve my relationship with Gabrielle,
Right answer.
which is true. Honestly, there's nothing. But I think about that, and then it's like, this is what marriage is to me. I've only been married to one person.
Yeah.
And so the thought of talking about you like this on a podcast is so
It's crazy.
insane to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I used to think she's a good person, man. It's like, if you ever talk about your wife in the past tense being a good person, it's over, dude.
Yeah.
About a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I've now realized she's a bad person.
It's awful.
Yeah, dude. I know that's how you talk about me, though.
Always.
See?
Okay, I want to watch it.
This is my serious face.
And she really, really loved kids, and that was one of her big things, is she really, really wanted to have kids. So we got married, and
Bait and switch.
we immediately tried to have kids because I knew how important that was to her, and I wanted to have kids too. And I never thought I was going to be ready, and I don't think you ever are ready. You just have to kind of jump into it. So we had kids right away. I mean, when we tried to have kids, it happened very, very quickly. But quickly after we had kids, our sex life just fell apart.
How old
I
are the
confided
kids?
in her, that I needed the intimacy, and that I felt like she was really distant, and she basically.
I already know what you're thinking. Is she breastfeeding? Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, are they like little kids? Because we've had this conversation. Women get touched out. Like,
Yeah. And also breastfeeding hormonally actually it's like
suppresses
it
your
suppresses
libido.
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
science. That is science, son.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I told you there's somebody that I know who just had a kid like about 8-9 months ago,
Mhm.
and he knows, and he's like, and he came to me, was just like,
Yeah.
listen, man, he's like, my wife like will not let me touch her, man, and I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It is a
They
lot.
just told me,
It's what?
It's like a lot when you have little kids on you all day, and then like you're like, oh, my space in bed, and then there's like another body.
It's like,
It
let me
doesn't
get
matter-
inside of you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. Like, yeah.
I'm too tired. I don't have time for it. Or there's always an excuse. We went to counseling for a bit, and during the counseling sessions, it came up, and then
It came up. Dude, if you never have sex with your spouse, if you think that that's not a big deal, like, trust me,
It is.
it's a big deal to somebody. Like,
Yeah.
without a doubt, whether they are so, like passive and they don't want to like rock the boat and they're kind of like, all right, whatever. It's like, if husband, oh, this guy cheated on his wife, it's like, you're automatically like, what a piece of shit. But then if someone's like, yeah, and then the wife turned him down sexually literally 75 times in a row over
Still can't cheat on your wife, but
still can't cheat on your wife, but you're fucking asking for it if you never have sex with your husband. Like, or vice versa. If the girl's constantly coming to the guy, she's like, God, I just need to get dick down. He's like, I'm sleepy. Okay. Like,
we had someone I worked with who went through that.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, and she literally said to Gabrielle, she's like, I just need to get fucked. Like, she's like, cause she had like dated a porn star or something.
I don't know.
She's like a
Train wreck of
wild
a human.
girl who like just kind of was like, I feel like to fix my life, I should marry just a totally regular guy.
Like a responsible guy that checks all the boxes.
Yeah. And what's so great,
nice.
and when I met her, she was like 8 months pregnant. And so like, to me, she was just like one of these mom chicks. Right. And then like, a couple years later, it was like,
Started
what the fuck?
unravel.
Yeah. It was just like, what is that? She banged some, like, I think she banged like a dude who came to paint her house or something. Like,
Yeah.
some weird shit. Like, and then remember she was like sending that email and you're like, are you trying to get caught? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
It was such an awkward position.
Yeah.
I
Gabrielle
hate
gave
that.
her good advice. She was like, the only way forward is you never speak to that guy ever again.
Yeah.
You, whatever you're like, if,
It was like, do you
or
want to
get
continue
divorced.
your marriage or not?
Yeah, like get divorced,
Which she did end up doing.
which she did end up doing because he couldn't dick her down properly. She's all, I need 2 at once. He's
Yeah.
all, I don't even have 1 for you.
for whatever reason, she basically just told the counselor that she didn't want to continue anymore. So it stopped.
With counseling?
It's gone from.
So wait, hold on. So when you brought up, when you're talking about what are the challenges in your relationship, and you brought up the lack of sexual intimacy, y'all aren't sleeping together. You're not. Usually these conversations are not just about doing it. They're also about like, you don't hold my hand. You leave the room when I walk in. Like, there's not that gentle touch on my shoulder. Like, so there's a whole picture here. When you brought that up,
right,
she just said, "This conversation's over. I'm out."
I mean, it wasn't that quickly, but it was very relatively quickly. I mean, it was brought up towards the end of one session, and then the beginning of another session, she said she just didn't want to continue anymore. And
it's amazing how entitled women think that because they have gone throughout their life being the one who decides whether they have sex with a dude or not. You know, like, because like when you're single, it's like they try to have sex with me and then I decide. That like you get into a marriage and then like the biggest fucking deal ever. And the dude's like, okay, I really like, this is a big enough deal that I'm talking about it with my therapist. And like in her mind, she's so selfish. And she's like, okay, you know what, dude? I'm the one who decides and I'm not even going to fucking talk about this with you. It's like,
Well, I still need to know how old these kids are. If we're talking like a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, like, I get that. But not even being able to.
You still used to pity fuck me then.
That's what I was going to say without saying that. But like, yes, knowing that it's a big deal to your significant other, to your husband, like, you know, you just fucking suck it up.
Suck it up, bitch. Suck it the fuck up. If Gabrielle's like, let's do it in the shower, I'm like, oh, this is just a pity fuck then. So she's like, knock it out. And let's.
But that's
I hated that shit.
I know. But it at least shows
Effort.
trying. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like.
One of these mics has like a weird feedback happening right now.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I don't think so. I think that's the feedback
I hear
of
it.
the collective universe
I
being
can't believe
like.
you don't hear it for the first
I
time.
get the collective feedback of the universe being like.
It's gone. Fixed it.
Oh, the feedback of all the listeners being like, I'm sorry, did you just say that you hated fucking Gabrielle in the shower? I'm like, you know what I meant. I preferred, you know.
Like 4 hours.
Yeah, dude. Like, you know. Anyway.
Another backstory with her, what she's told me about her past is she's been married, was married previously, and she's confided to me that her ex-husband was physically abusive. It was like a one-time occurrence, but he was.
Yikes.
And, you know, I've always thought, okay, well, that has something to do with it. And I think the counsel.
I don't believe her. Just going to say that.
You don't even know her. Shut up.
Just based on her.
You're hearing one side of a situation. Okay.
She sounds like a bad girl.
I was trying to see if there was some back history there. So that might be another reason why she tried to shut it down. But the thing about this, what she told me, though, about her past, it's been a little confusing over the years is, you know, I was very sympathetic of what she told me, and, you know, it broke my heart. But I've come to find out over the years that she's never told anybody about it. Nobody, only me.
Told you.
Okay.
Told you. Sounds like a little bit of emotional manipulation. She's like, I don't really want to talk about this. So listen, it's this thing that's like really taboo, but I was the victim of domestic abuse. And so next time you think about asking me why I don't want to have sex with you, I want you to think about what I went through, and then don't ask me.
Okay.
And she didn't want anybody else to know about it. So I hate this. I don't want to say that I don't believe her, but initially, you know, I believed her 100%. And then as time has gone on, I'm starting to question whether or not the story was 100% true or not.
Sure.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Tell me about emotional infidelity.
I mean, she's very passive aggressive, like dismisses my feelings. I've tried multiple different avenues to try to get through to her on how I feel. You know, I've done the direct approach where I sit her down and talk to her. I've written her letters. I've written her poems. And it was almost kind of like, well, this is ridiculous. Like,
I hate this bitch.
Oh, this is making me sad.
See, this is what people, like, there are very, very toxic people. Both. There's a million toxic guys. Sure. A million. Toxic women is a more subtle thing because like they don't, like, you don't see, you know, like men are like just are louder and whatever. It's like they're quicker to identify themselves as like, okay, that guy's trash, kind of. Girls, not, I mean, there are like extreme examples, of course, that you're like, okay, this chick sucks. But there are other ones that are like, they're super fucking selfish and there's no way that you would even know that. And like when you first start
in the relationship,
you
with
start
them,
dating them, and at first you're like, oh my God, we're having all this great sex and she's super fun and whatever. And then you like, all of a sudden you're like in a relationship for the last year, and then you start to see who they really are, you know, like it's like, and a selfish person like that who doesn't respect her husband, you know, like, because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. She doesn't respect him, you know, like he writes her poems. She's like, this is ridiculous. Get the fuck out of here.
That's sad.
You know, that happens a lot to like dudes who have personalities where they're like, you know, they're not as like domineering as other people. And then like, they're trying to make them happy. And the more they try to make them happy, the less they respect them. And then the less they respect them, the worse it gets for him. And then you end up talking to a stranger on a YouTube video, you know, and you're like, I wrote her a poem. She told me to fuck off. You're all, you should tell that bitch to make you a fucking sandwich or kick her the fuck out of your house and get a divorce. Like, this chick doesn't give a fuck about you, dude.
Yeah, that's sad.
Do you disagree with that?
I don't.
It's unfortunate. I feel bad for this fucking
sad.
guy.
Yeah, I do too.
She has told me directly that I'm needy and too sensitive. Is basically what she's told me.
Oh, buddy.
And she's very dismissive also of things that are important to me.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. It's something small, but it came up the other day. I'm really big on communication, and we obviously have a horrible
You got the wrong fucking wife, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. We have horrible communication in our marriage. And one of the things that I've asked her to do is, look, if she's going to have any friends or family come over, just let me know so I know in advance they're coming. And she hardly ever does it. And the other day, someone just popped up and I had no idea they were coming. And I asked her, I said, why didn't you tell me they were coming? She's like, I don't need to tell you that.
You're like, I've literally
That's horrible.
talked to you about this 1,000 times. It's like,
Yeah.
just let me know. Hey, they're coming over. Like, that's like intentionally disrespectful.
Exactly.
Like, she does not respect him. And that is almost like she wants to punk him.
It's like she's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of sociopathic women, dude,
Sure.
and they get married and then they
I
behave
don't know
like
that
this.
this is full-blown sociopath, but there's some kind of, either it's lack of respect, like you were saying, or some kind of weird resentment that she has for some reason. I don't know what it could be. He sounds like a really nice guy, but
She doesn't love him.
clearly.
And so he annoys the shit out of her.
She doesn't love him. Yeah.
Imagine being married to a person that you are not in love with and you're married. Like, you remember the feeling when we first got married, like where you just first get married and you're like, dude, we're fucking married.
Yeah.
It's like,
so cool.
if you've never been married, like there's something about like, it's like, boom, we're married, that where you're like, oh wow, like you're my fucking wife now.
Yeah.
And for us, obviously that was nothing but good. But I had nothing but girls prior to Gabrielle that if you put that finality on it, very quickly I would have been like, oh wow, we're married. Like, yikes. And, and she's trapped in it also. She doesn't love him. And he's like, can we please just talk? She's like, after years of it, she's probably like, oh my God, shut the fuck up, guy. I don't want to talk to you. I wish I didn't marry you. We have all these kids. I don't,
sad.
like I don't have enough money to go live by myself or else I would. Yes, I am flirting with this dude at work. Yes, I'm doing that because I don't respect you. Fuck her. But I understand.
So, just for technicality, emotional infidelity, the way I would classify that is somebody that has feelings for somebody else. They haven't slept with them. They're not holding hands. They're not going on dates. But somebody who has chosen to confide in somebody that's not their person they're married to. Super common. Sneaks up on you. And it can definitely be worked through. But it definitely is a thing, right? That doesn't sound like what's going on here. What sounds like what's going on here. And I always want to enter into these spaces very carefully, okay? Because I just want to tell for the people listening, one of the things you never, ever want to do when somebody confides in you like you're doing right now, what you're saying, Joe, is hard to say, right? You're saying things out loud. You're being pretty vulnerable.
I love this guy, by the way.
Really, really wonderful.
I really like him.
Yeah.
With me, and I'm really grateful for it. That's hard for a dude to say, hey, man, I'm like pouring myself out to her, and she just keeps shutting me down. It's my wife. It's my mother of my kids, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to say out loud. Right. And my guess is you don't tell a whole bunch of people that. But one of the cardinal rules when somebody opens up to you is to never badmouth their spouse because they might get back together and then they're going to remember what when you're like, yeah, she sucks.
He's like, you never badmouth the spouse. And now I'm going to shit on this fucking bitch.
Hypothetically.
Then y'all reconcile. You're always going to know, like, that dude said my wife sucked. You know what I mean? So I always want to tread carefully here, but I also want to be really honest, and we have a contracted time to talk. So can I just be direct, straight ahead? Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah, you're dealing with somebody. I'm not going to diagnose her over the phone, obviously, but you're dealing with somebody who doesn't give a crap about you. And I need you to.
This should be the fucking game that we play, dude. It's like, hey, wait, he's doctor, whatever. It's like, I always told you, dude, I get this shit dialed. I will predict.
You said sociopath. He didn't say anything.
I said, no. What he said was, she doesn't give a fuck about you. And I'm like, yeah, literally exactly what I was just saying. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you could actually diagnose a like mental disorder, like without actually seeing them or interacting. But he is going to say exactly what I've just been
Hear me say this directly. You're not crazy.
Oh, buddy.
In fact, given what you've told me, now I know there's always two sides to every story, right? And I've had these conversations where I talk to a dude like this, and then I talk to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, let me fill you in," and it's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
Right.
That's a great.
But I don't get that sense from you, man.
No,
It sounds like a guy who loves his wife and is doing everything he can to connect with her, from the direct approach, the indirect approach, the I'm going to help around the house approach, to the hey, you want to dream together approach, to here's some poetry approach. Sounds like you're doing everything you can, man. And you're consuming stuff like this show. You're trying to figure out, what is it about me? And I want you to hear me say, I don't think it's you, man.
Boo.
I don't think it's you. And let me.
Can you imagine what that would feel like?
No, I honestly can't.
Yeah, because any situation like that with you, you'd like, prior to us being, you would have just broken up with them fucking in 1 second.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine it was totally normal and everything was good before, and you were just dating, and then you're married, and all of a sudden there's like a shift, and I don't know.
Well, they have kids too.
And
then now you're triple trapped. Like, you got 2 kids and you're married.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't like that person anymore. Or vice versa. And especially like,
I just feel really, really, really bad for him.
I feel bad for him too.
Like, he sounds like a very nice guy.
Like, he's really making a genuine effort.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't make a person love a person they don't love. But you could certainly expect them to respect a person who they fucking married and had kids with.
So the only thing that I could see on her side, I know I brought this up a couple times, is like the age of the kids. Like, they haven't talked about how long they've been married, how old the kids are, how close, the kids were back to back. Because if they had this great relationship, they got married and, like he said, had kids really fast, and the kids are still like 1 and 2 years old, I think that's a completely different story than if the kids are like 6 and 7, 8, right? Like, I remember feeling super touched out. I never would have been this bitchy, but there is a point that a woman can get to, like, hormonally, and she just, I mean, it's possible that she's not being herself.
Yeah, but
because he's saying that she's so different than the woman that he thought he married. Like, to me, that screams like there's something else. So obviously her actions suck. I'm not condoning them in any way, shape, or form. Just as a woman who, like, lived through crazy postpartum feelings, like, we all have these feelings. If the kids are still little, it could be that.
Gabrielle will always find a way to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's one of her best traits.
Thank you.
I have the opposite problem. I will assume the worst about people and then later find out I'm like, oh, I didn't need to go that
I would
hard.
rather be proven wrong and think that people are good.
She gives people chances who do not deserve them, though. But, like, okay, in this case, though, let's just say that it's exactly that. Like, she touched out, couple kids, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That still doesn't excuse him going through the level of effort that he is. And she's just like, oh my God, you're so fucking sensitive. Or like,
no, but
shitting on his poetry. Like, this is like
I said, I'm not defending her in any way, but there is a level that a woman can get to, and her hormones literally take over. Like, if she really is so different than when they got married or like when they were dating, it makes me think, like, what else is going on?
Well, here, I could also pose another thing. I'm not like saying I am a woman per se, but I do have enough experience with them to say that generally, in my experience, girls do not respond sexually to needy guys that are like, please, can I blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what girls are attracted to sexually, just biologically.
No, it's true, but she's obviously, like, broken him down.
No, that's what I mean. And that's that thing. It's that thing that gets worse. And remember, we talked about that with the one we were just talking about,
like,
where it's like,
cycle.
Yeah, she's like, I want you to, like, take it, like, just take it from me. And like, so then when he tries to, he's like, is this how she wants me to do it? It's like, you're just making it worse, dude.
Yeah.
Now it's just worse. But anywho, let's listen to this.
Let me tell you why that's hard to say. Because now you're left with this terrifying, well, now what? Right? Because doesn't sound like there's something you can just go fix. I'm going to say something that's going to sound really callous. And I'm saying this as somebody who's been through my own hell and back, okay? And also has worked with a whole bunch of people. Trauma is very, very real. I wrote a whole book about it. And it cascades through a person's entire life and through their family tree if they don't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an excuse to shut your life down. And so we do not choose the trauma that happens to us. We don't choose the abuse, the marginalization. We don't choose being born in the wrong neighborhood, the wrong color, all those things. We don't choose that stuff. We do choose what comes next. And so it sounds like somewhere along the way, either hell visited your wife, either before she was your wife, when she was a little kid, whatever. Or, like you said, now I'm starting to even doubt if that's even true. Here's the deal. It honestly doesn't matter. What matters is she going to look at the person she committed her life to and say, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be able to sleep with you 3 times a week right now. I get that. But I also understand that I can't go through my whole life not touching my husband. I'm going to go do the work I need to do to be well.
We've talked about this a bunch, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks that they want a virgin girl, you know, like, oh, I was her first. It's like, that's good sometimes. Like in certain faith, like LDS, I buy that for them for sure. Like the you know, I respect that they live that way. You know, they get married when they're fucking 12.
Well,
I mean, not really, but like when they're like 18, they like just
Yeah.
get married
And
because then they can have
kids.
sex. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they are not married, though, they do not have sex for real. And I respect that immensely. But that's like so deeply ingrained in that culture that I don't, you know, I mean, I don't know. Who
It's
knows? But
like everyone there is that way.
Yeah.
You know, like you're in the minority if you're not heavily part of the church when you're in Utah versus like, you know, being LDS in like LA.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be like a lot harder.
Totally. That's what, for sure, that's what I'm referencing is the Utah LDS. But like outside of that community, which we, you know, kind of like lived among for a year, I've said this a million times. Like
I was saying I'm a Utah mom today with my straight ends on my curly hair.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
a Utah curl.
I don't think that when they say Utah mom now that is what we're talking about. I think they're talking about like the fucking the reality
mom
show.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah, the reality show chicks who are swingers, if I remember correctly.
Only like 3 of them were. It's a whole thing. There's one ringleader of the whole thing. What's her name? Taylor Frankie Paul or something like that.
I would do anything.
She is such an interesting specimen. I'm actually really curious your thoughts on this girl because I have some feelings. Like,
oh my god, let's look her up right now. We'll come back to this dude.
Okay. I think it's Taylor Frankie Paul.
Taylor Frankie Paul. Oh yeah. Okay. So being humbled with Taylor Frankie Paul. Hold on. Let's see. I want to find one where she talks about that. Because she's a swinger, right?
Well, no, she's not now. So her and her husband got married when they were like 18, right? And then there were like a couple groups of friends and they all were hanging out and ended up like kind of swapping, but like not going all the way. They were calling it soft.
I've heard this
soft
story.
Swinging.
Soft swap or whatever.
Soft swinging. Yeah. And then she did go all the way with another guy there. And so her and her husband got divorced. She ended up having a baby with said other guy that she slept with, and then they broke up. So now she's got 2 kids with her first husband, a kid with the guy that she had the actual affair with, and this girl is just like the biggest train wreck of a human. There's something about her energy that I like. This is the kind of human being that I run from.
Oh yeah,
like run from.
I'm very interested. Just before we watch it, to finish the point I was making and to comment on this. No. This is all very relevant. But like the one first timer, it's just like you gotta assume that like if they've only ever had sex, they're like, I wonder what it's like with that guy. Like, you know, then you get some piece of sleaze like me, and it's like I fucking know exactly what it's like with all these other broads, and it's terrible compared to Gabrielle. Or like, you know, or just like a girl's had like boyfriends. It's like there's not like that lingering kind of like God,
curiosity,
sex
straight
with
up
other
curiosity.
men. Yeah, like Jessica Simpson with Nick Lachey, the fucking nicest dude in the world, and she fucked Bam Margera.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It is.
Bam Margera. Look at Bam Margera now, dude.
No.
Hey, that's on your resume, Jessica Simpson. You skis.
And then she went like, I don't know.
She married some billionaire.
Living on Adderall or something. She
dude.
like is like.
Her weight fluctuates in ways that is.
But her eyes also look like dead. Like dead eyes.
She's I mean, if she's taking that stuff like that much to where she's shrinking to that, like
Yeah.
probably not sleeping, eating for years,
Yeah.
and she's just like, I don't remember what it feels like to have emotions.
She looks malnourished.
But also on this thing, the like soft swap, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like that,
Well, that was
listen,
them-
we're
that
not
was-
going to go all the way, but I definitely want my wife to feel another man's tongue in her mouth,
No,
and
but
then
that
we'll just
was
see what
all
happens.
of them because they all got married when they were 18 years old and had never been with anybody else, and they started like hanging out and like playing drinking games, and then like one thing led to another, and there was like that's the curiosity thing that we were talking about. That's what made me think of her, is because none of them had ever been with anyone else.
Okay, so here
And
is,
I think that homegirl here was the ringleader of the entire thing.
that's totally possible. I will weigh in on that in a second. What I was going to say though is just like, that cheating story is one where I'm like, fuck, whatever. That's her fucking husband's fault. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You greenlit
But
that, and then, oh my God, your wife had sex with another guy that you allowed her
like
to,
A
like,
manipulative mastermind. Like I
She
feel
is.
like, yeah.
okay, let's watch her.
Yeah, they were just groping, and then let's say a year. So it kind of stood like that. And then we would play games. We added more people in, and you can kind of gauge who would be interested and who wouldn't. I don't know how we did that, but we did. And so
Throw fishing lines out and see who bites.
kind of how they talk. Like
Yeah.
I think the guys would gauge how the guy, we would throw parties, and I think you could tell who would and who wouldn't. And so there was another couple that
For
came in.
sure, on the female side, she's the leader of this for sure. She's the one driving it. She's the one super confidently like, this is what we do. And the other girls are like, I'm naturally a follower. And so I guess
Yes.
this is normal. And like, but she's driving this. Also, whoever married her and you thought you were going to get through a lifetime without this chick fucking another guy has no ability to read humans at all.
No, he's like a complete and total tool.
Honestly, if I was a single guy and she was married to someone, I would look at her and be like, I could fuck her for sure, and I'm not going to because she's like it would be, it's like a turn off, even if you're single, looking at her like how devious she looks to me, where you're like, man,
Yeah, she's devious.
she's
She's
devious.
like an evil person.
Certainly very self-centered and very good at like kind of confidently talking.
I think she like loves to pot stir.
Yes.
Like loves it.
I actually have an ex that's not quite as bad as her. I could describe for you. She's from the same hometown as Katie.
Oh, okay.
Like not this bad,
Yeah.
but very similar.
Yeah.
By the way, after our last interview, it was funny because for years people have talked about, these parties in Utah. And I've always been like, I know so many people in Utah. I have thrown most of the parties in Utah. I know everybody that parties in Utah. I've never heard of these swinger parties that supposedly are happening. That's what I would always say. And then all of a sudden it was like, even on the podcast, I was like, this will be really cool. I'm going to get Taylor on so people can see that you can be sexually like a little bit more out there on your TikTok, but it doesn't cross a line. And then like a week later is when everything, and I was like, all right, maybe I'm just naive.
No, well, I wouldn't even call them like swinger parties because at this point, no one has switched. So I wouldn't even say swinger parties. It was just like parties of like, people want to like share. I don't know.
Is it mostly LDS couples or mostly non? Or I only asked because we're in Utah.
Everybody
and it's
was LDS that was involved.
Yeah.
And I've heard about swinger parties because I go to Lifetime. So I've heard about actual swingers where they're switching with other people.
Wait, Lifetime Fitness is where we went to Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that have to do with swingers?
Apparently that's where you
It's
meet
where
the
you go to
swingers.
exercise on machines
great gym.
and swim.
Yeah.
I knew about swinger parties because I went to Lifetime. What the fuck
do
are you
not
talking?
know.
That is a weird ass comment, dude.
She's an odd duck.
And doing their own thing. We never like did that as far as that, but we'll get to that point.
Sure.
But
I'm so glad that you turned me on to this, dude. This is great.
oh yeah, I'm trying to think where we were. Okay, so then we bring another couple in about a year. So it was the same thing for about that, like just like, making out, and then it wouldn't happen like every weekend, right? It was like it was sporadic, so cabin trips, whatever. And then we started to throw, I think we couldn't get enough of like cabin trips that we started to throw parties at our house. And I was throwing parties probably twice a month, like at my house, like ragers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no, not
So then we have another couple involved, and then we were
Let me just update my consensus on would I fuck her? Yes, is the answer to that. I'm going to go ahead
got a
and, if
great
I was
body.
single, I'm going to go ahead and just update that. Like, I'm not, come on, dude. She's devious, but Jesus, let's be
And
honest.
she is really pretty.
She's a bad girl, though, dude.
Bad girl.
This is a bad girl.
playing like, we would play like don't judge me, but like spin the bottle. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I guess we all thought we were in high school again. So, and then we would blindfold. Let's just say me. And then every husband would come and kiss me, and I'd have to guess who was who. And so
you guys literally were fulfilling that.
You guys were literally 5.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And then at a certain point, it's like, and then I would blindfold, and it was like, all of you stick your penis in my mouth, and then I'll try to figure out who it is. I mean, that's got to be where, that's what she's thinking, dude. She's like, I can take this there.
Yeah.
She wants to fuck all of them. She wants to destroy every marriage.
Exactly. Not because she wants to have sex with them, but because she wants to own people and like control them.
Exactly.
Yes.
She wants exactly what I was talking about, where I would recognize similar traits in that one. And who else did I always say she was like from your life?
I think I know.
You definitely
know, but I'm not going to say it.
No, I'm not saying
it.
No, I'm just saying, but like exactly the same behavior in all 3.
Yes.
High school fantasy
college,
games and stuff. Yeah, the experience you never got in college,
exactly.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have all these LDS people that are a lot of the. I would say that they're like each other's first, if not like they haven't experienced a whole lot. So this is very exciting, very fun, and I mean I can say that, but like I had all that once upon a time, but so it's like, but I understood how this was exciting to everyone else involved.
Well, it's one of the things I'm grateful for that I've been in the.
Yeah, dude. She's like, everybody kind of knew that, like, I got caught at the high school blowing 3 guys from the basketball team. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah,
you had
elaborate.
that before. Yeah, like, she's like, for most people, yeah, you're right. She's ringleader. Like, probably ringleader, like, the whole, because the guys, like, I'm sure the guys were really hard to.
You have to see her first husband.
Okay. I'll look him up on here while she talks. Hang on.
After college single scene, as long as I have, is you get that out of your system. I have so many friends that when they get divorced, or even they always kind of have this feeling of like, gosh, what's out there? What did I miss out on? And it would bother me if I had never experienced it, if you didn't know what it was. And
just
so
curious.
I 100% understand that as well.
Yeah, and then also I think a lot of us were in our heads is like,
him?
We're like married, but we're getting to make it.
Here's what I'm gonna say about him. That dude is prolifically coming way too fast. I would bet my life on that, dude. Look at I can even see it in his eyes. He's like, I hope I can do this better this time. I would literally bet my life on that right there.
Get out with other people.
Yeah, she's like, well, if there's 7 of them, I figure I'll probably get what I need.
Like not get in trouble. I think that was like in her head. It was like,
oh boy.
Yeah, like I think that's what was going on in like at least most of our heads. At least I can admit to like being like, okay, like all of us are. This is because at this point I'm not feeling any guilt.
Well, I was going to ask, did anybody start catching feelings? There was any guilt feelings from some of these couples? Or?
Yeah, yes. So for a while, I don't think there was any. There should have been guilt still, but there wasn't for me. I can say that I was just like,
so there wasn't for me because I'm a sociopath.
Okay, like I'm not doing anything wrong. My husband knows. I felt pretty like, even though it's still wrong, we were doing wrong things. Like, but that's where you're so far gone. You're not feeling
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying things, but like, hey, why was it wrong?
Yeah.
Hey, I'd be like, hey, Taylor, elaborate on that. Like, I feel like you're being a little bit performative here. Why was it wrong? She's like, well, you're not supposed to do that. You're all,
And I started the whole thing, and I broke up marriages.
Yeah. Ultimately, when you started sneaking around and having sex with other guys, that's wrong. But like, spin the bottle with who gives a shit? I mean, I wouldn't have allowed it if I was the husband. I'd have been like, yeah, none of you guys are kissing my wife, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, no.
I'm sure that you guys would love to play spin the bottle, but who's getting a better end of this fucking deal? Me or you? Get the fuck out of here.
All the girls were really pretty. But still.
It's crazy that she pulled this off with these LDS chicks, dude.
Though she strikes me as so manipulative and like the ringleader where everyone wants to like impress and not
100%.
Thought that Taylor doesn't think she's cool and like she's also the one that started the mom talk which is like the big TikTok that went to like millions of views. So they also had this like fame and notoriety on TikTok and
it was hers.
And she was like the star. Like she was like the front girl.
You're right. They're like
so they would do
anything
her. She said.
Yeah. Yeah, that one ex that I was referencing.
Same.
After any of her friends would have sex with me if I wanted to. Literally any of them. Like any of them after we were together because they're like, oh my God, that's something that was hers. Mm-hmm. They were all gross though. Mostly.
guilt, right?
When I say it's just you're just doing very dangerous things, right?
Sure.
And I mean, there's so many people out there that have talked about these different. There's a guy right now on social media talking about they get hall passes and stuff, and it's just a losing game. If you want, I don't think men are wired, especially, and women actually, to share that partner. If you truly have that deep love, there's no way on God's green earth that you're going to be okay with them messing around with other people.
Unless you're both like sexual deviant, like swingers, who are like, that's like part of the, like if it.
Yeah, but then I think the argument would be that you don't have that real deep actual love.
I don't know about that, dude. If there are people who straight up fundamentally do not have the jealousy bone, and they thought, like, it was like, oh, I fantasized about this, and it's like, dude, let's just try it one time, and then they both have a good, like, actually they could have a really good marriage and do that stuff. My personal opinion.
Disagreed.
Well,
proceed.
Dude, I'm not trying to pass you around. Did you hear what I just said about fucking, we're not playing spin the bottle? Like, I'm not trying to escalate that to fucking BBC for you.
But yet we convince ourselves that this is going to be okay, that this is just fun or exciting, and it is, but it always is going to be at the detriment of that deeper love.
Yeah, and I could say that's where I was like, I think, tapped out in my marriage. I had asked for a separation twice in the midst of all this. At least I was like, I need space, I need to think clearly, and so I would think I was tapped out before I even got divorced, and so that's why it was easier on me. Not easy, but like.
Yeah, but you're 1 foot out the door already.
Is she married now?
No. So
I was going to say, she can't be married.
So the guy that she had the actual affair with, they had a baby together.
Right.
And then
was he married?
He was married to one of the other girls.
One of her friends, of course.
And then they were dating for a while, and then there was some like domestic abuse charge on her. Like she was drunk, and the police came out. He had locked her in the garage.
Okay, that's amazing. Was he a big dude? Because like that's
way
hilarious.
Bigger than her.
Yeah, it's just like you're all right, and you just put her in the garage and just lock the door. I've done that before. Yes. I've actually literally just grabbed a girl and just put her outside of my apartment and then just closed it and locked it and then they kick.
It's exactly what was happening. She was trying to kick the door down. Cops came. She got arrested. So no, they're not together anymore. So now she's got 2 baby daddies and she's on her own with 3 of them most of the time.
I actually feel guilty that I compared that girl to this girl. That girl was just blacked out drunk and had some very bad news that I was responsible for given to her. Like that was my fault. And I just, but this girl, there's no way, like, and that one is like happily married kids. Like she's a good person. This one, this is not possible for her. Like this is not a person who is ever going to have a good marriage ever, no matter what. Oh no. It cannot happen.
She's also like a little certifiable. Like her social media, she'll be like happy and dancing and then crying and like it's just all over the place.
Oh, she's bipolar? Like she goes like manic and shit?
I don't know, but she's all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think that I look at her and I see a person who is assessing other people's emotions very well. She's like, I want this.
Yeah.
I want this. It's like, okay, but like, what if that's going to destroy their life? What?
I want it.
Yeah.
Already, so makes sense.
Yeah, and so where I don't think some of these people might have been at that point, and I wasn't getting jealous, but I don't think there was a lot of jealousy because obviously if there was, we wouldn't have been able to do all this, right? Like, anyways, I think when we started to see that people were catching feeling is when.
How old were they when this is happening?
I think they were very early 20s, like very, very early, like 2021, I think. They could have been younger.
This was a good example that you brought up when we were, because how we segmented this, this is exactly that, except with one crazy ringleader who instead of it happening over a matter of years and like small little sequences of like, they end up by themselves at parties. She's like, hey guys, okay, there's no need for this emotional, the emotional affair thing that happens over 2 weeks. Spin the bottle. Let's go kiss, then let's go dick. And everyone's like, why are you so anxious? She's all, I hate my husband. Like, you guys, hey, are you guys in love? I'm not in love. I miss dick. Remember, you got to keep in mind, I've had a lot of dick. I'm like you guys, and I know how fun it is. So, like, just follow my lead, and I promise, come taste good.
Oh, my gosh.
It got messy. So, Tate, I was very open with Tate, like,
that's her ex.
Up until a point, until I wasn't, but, like...
Oh my god, this chick is fucking amazing.
I know.
I was so I was really
rabbit holed on her content one day.
Oh my
I'm
god,
like, this chick is offer.
I had
Rocker.
no idea who this was until this episode. Yeah, I was really open with Tate, until I wasn't. You're like, and what do you mean about wasn't? She's like, well, I started fucking one of his friends, but I had, I was pretty open with him about the fact that I didn't like him. She's probably like, I'm sick of you. See, it's communication.
We could kind of see like people were catching feelings. There were 3 of us out of the 6 that caught feelings.
6 couples or 6 people?
6 people.
Okay.
There was 3 of us that caught feelings.
She's all me and that guy and this other guy and me.
I being one of them, and then so Tate didn't know I caught feelings, but he could see some of the men catching feelings, and he could see it. And then I got to a point like I was just like so tapped out, and that's like me and this man, like I think we were just like friends emotionally. It was very like innocent for a while. Like we would all text each other, this entire group, so it was very normal to talk all the time, which is still not normal in a married. Like we were texting, like I was texting all of them. Like we were
actually that's completely normal if you're not playing
Not
spin the bottle.
sleeping with them.
Yeah, dick version. It's like completely normal for friends to be like girls and guys that are friends to be on group chats. It just becomes not normal when people are sneaking
I think
around.
she was saying it was behind the scene. Like she would text a guy. And
oh yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
literally to this day. Like if I text if a couple that we're friends with, even if it's like I was friends with the girl first, if I text them individually, within 3 texts, I will say something about the husband. Dude, how's he doing? Tell him I love him, whatever. Even if it's someone I've been friends with for 25 fucking years. I literally just did that today. Like today I did that. Even though it's like, okay, obviously there's no scenario where this, but it's like, just to be clear, you know what I mean? But she's like, well, I just was asking like how, for him to measure his penis and take a picture. Ooh, nice. Bigger than I expected.
all texting, and then we'd be in group messages on top of it. We were hanging out twice a week, which is still probably not normal.
Well, I have some friends, and one of their wives was texting the other friends like way too often, and I called bullshit on it. I said, dude, you need to tell her to stop. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't text the exact thing with your husband connected to the thread, that's inappropriate.
Yep. Yeah.
And I always say this to people too. I'm like,
yeah.
like you know when you're being shitty. You know.
And I actually remember telling Tay, I was like, they're like texting me like a lot. Like I'm getting texts like.
Wait, you let a bunch of virgin LDS guys put their tongue in your mouth and then like, oh my God, we caught feelings.
Weird. Never would have seen that coming.
This whole thing is so ludicrous, dude.
I would get like, hey, good morning. How are you feeling from the party last night? And I would show Tate, and I was very open for a long time. And like, I was a very trusting wife for 6 years, never like.
You would show Tate. What the fuck is that other dude
so for
doing?
6 years, assuming they got married at 18, they were like 24.
What is that other dude doing though? She's all like, the other dude's all, hey, how you feeling?
Yeah.
And like, she's all, I would show Tate. You're all, yeah, but what's the dude doing texting you? Like, what? Her husband is a retard, okay? Yes. If one of my friends ever did, dude, anytime that anyone has ever tried to like skirt me and speak to you directly, I have interjected myself instantly. Even my really good friends, like, you don't have a back channel to her, dude. Like,
exactly.
Lied to him, very open about literally everything. He had passwords, everything to my social media, so I didn't hide a whole lot. So to me, even I was like, how did I even do this to my best friend of 6 years? Like, I don't know where I lost all of that, but like one day caved, and so like we were, I was texting, and then it was friendship, innocent, and then you're being intimate with these people. So I eventually created a crush, and that's just where it started. And then you have a crush, you're being intimate, you're texting them, you're seeing them twice a week, you're connecting with them, not only emotionally but physically at this point. So you're playing with fire. If it wasn't me, it would have been somebody else. Like, so.
But it was you, and you created the entire situation. I literally, listening to her talk, I cannot even explain to you. Like, these are conversations that I had with the girl that I was like, that I never would have thought of ever again. Yeah. But she sounds that much like her that it's like bringing me back 20 years. Yeah. Where I'm like, I literally remember her saying things about like I caught feelings, you know,
Yeah.
as if like that would be like the ultimate trump card that like, oh, she caught feelings. And so, you know, whatever. And you're like, okay, like, you know, that's why I actually only dated her. Like we were only together for like 3 months, like actually together.
Okay.
But then, so like after that, it was like a friend kind of, you know, whatever. So this is, they are the same fucking person. Should we tell him what they should? Should we tell him what she's doing now, dude?
No.
Yeah, and then it grew into an emotional affair. So a lot of it was just talking. I only messed up one. I messed up one night was the affair, like physically, and but all of it was emotional. And I'm not saying that like that's any better. Emotional sometimes worse because there's feelings involved. I would, you know, I think might even be worse.
I think for the man, it's worse if the woman has an emotional affair because that means they've pretty much moved on from you. Whereas with a woman, I think it's worse if the man has a physical affair.
He's got that fucking dead backwards. That is fucking incorrect, guy. It's the exact opposite. Women, if they're like, do you love her? Guys are like, did you fuck him? Okay, like that's just common knowledge. He is straight up wrong about that.
That's kind of what I've understood from what I've studied, but...
Exactly. And I was doing...
what I've studied is an ABC's book that I read when I was in first grade that was not about men and women.
Because I mean, what you're saying is pretty common knowledge. So maybe he explained it wrong.
Fair enough. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
What about you though, sweetheart?
But her just not listening to anything he says. She's like, yeah, exactly. All right, back to my story.
Yeah, she's like... She's like, that's a really valid point, but I literally didn't hear anything you said because I'm talking right now. Okay, I'm talking about what I experienced, the feelings I caught. I only fucked up once. I slipped and fell on his. I can't thank you enough for this, dude.
Research during this, and I was like, why am I having these feelings? And I felt horrible, and I actually, you know, told this like, man, I'm not going to do this. Like, I am a good wife. Like, I can't, and like so. I was in a very weak stage, and because I think we were all, feeling very shitty about ourselves, and we were partying, like we were getting hammered drunk. There's a reason we were doing all this. I think some of us were miserable, and then.
Well, you've established that you were miserable.
They all had little kids too. I think most of them had like young children.
She is like, I told you I was miserable, and so I wanted to spread that misery. I wanted to make sure that if I am unhappy in my relationship, I am going to start taking from your relationship. My husband, he comes so fast. I can't take it. I'm starving. I'm fucking starving. I bet my life on that, dude.
At this point, I'm feeling guilty. It got a little crazier, and then Tate comes to me and he's like, we need to cut this off. Like, we got to quit. And so at this point, I am liking it. And so I'm like, but why? And because I think he can see people are creating feelings. He can see his friends liking me, and I think he's probably scared that I'm gonna like maybe one of them. So he's like,
oh, she's like, I mean, I assume he was like, you know, using common sense and could see that I was literally having emotional affairs with two different dudes,
and like making out with his friends.
Yeah, in front of him.
Yeah,
like. That didn't strike you like the next day, first time you guys did it, the next day you thought about your wife making out with one of your friends. You're like, that seems like something I'd like to have happen again.
Let's do that again on Friday.
And honestly, if I know how this one operates, the only way that you could, because she wants it to continue, is she needs to force one of the other girls to go further with her husband. You know, like, it's like, I need you to, you know, like. And she's thinking is.
No, they were doing that, apparently. Everything except for like actual intercourse was on the table.
And that's 100% because of her, because she needed to give the reason that this needs to continue. So she needs to so she has disregarded completely the fact that she is girls like her completely understand that their little female circle are minions that you can order around. Like that's and they're always the weirdest crew of friends, you know, like if they're circled around a person like that and like it's you, they are like where you just look, you're like, what do these girls all have in common exactly? Like it's like, oh, they all are weirdos who worship this one.
Yeah.
And so like with that relationship, what she did is she's like, well, I want to be able to keep on making out with their husbands, so I need you to, you know, violate your entire religion and go and give my husband a hand job that I don't care about. Trust me, it's gonna be over really fast.
Poor Tate.
At least if we do this, we can't do it with friends. It's got to be strangers. And I'm like, I can't do this with strangers. Like, but I think in his head, he was like, we're never actually going to do this with strangers. So it's kind of probably going to be cut off. Right. And then, so I would tell, you know, the others, like, we're not going to be doing this. And then I think some of them had an issue with that too. They weren't ready to be done. I know they did tell me that they didn't want, you know. And so
they were like,
up
so
with
these
you.
dudes are like going down on her and shit, and
I
like,
guess. That's,
and
yeah.
and the husband's like, you know, I'm starting to feel like this isn't a good idea, you know. Like, I know when someone
The
says
one story that I heard her share was like they would all be like in bed together. And,
naked,
like, yeah.
naked.
Hooking up, doing all kinds of stuff except actual intercourse.
Why stop there? You know, like, that's weird.
That was the line in the sand.
That's the line in the sand. He's like, shall see if you can fit 3 in there, you know? And then it's like, well, what about my penis? So, oh gosh, no. And then it's like, and then I finally slipped up once and had sex with the guy. You're all,
Yeah, it's crazy. The
that
whole
is,
thing is crazy.
this is the weirdest story
I know. It's
ever.
nuts.
You had this so fucking pegged, right? I'm really impressed by you are sleeper excellent at reading people.
I'm great at reading people.
Yeah. Excellent.
I know. Thank you.
You nail
Appreciate
them.
that.
Mm-hmm. You don't always do it the way I do it, where I'm like, I just look at a person, I'm like, I got him pegged. You're like quiet about it, and then, but anytime that you verbalize it, you're always right, dude. You know,
It's hard for me to articulate because it's more of like a feeling that I get,
Mhm.
and sometimes those feelings are hard to put into words. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, like for me, it's like I recognize the way that person holds their face, and then it's an algorithm of
that's how other
photographic,
person-
and it's like you look just Jesus. Someone was like, "Don't say it." Just kidding, but I'm like, you look just like that person, and then I go back, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's what that person did. That's what this person behaves, and then it's like, what would that person do if you did this? And I just can dial them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's probably enough, dude. We've been on it almost an hour. We'll do
Yeah.
another episode like this tomorrow. You guys, love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.